Hello, everyone. This is the first or the pilot episode of MULAT PINOY, one of the segments of June TV. Now, you must have known me vlogging or streaming about holistic well-being, and now this time, saktong-sakto naman, September 21. All right, I am going to talk about SingKUWENTA't SingKUWENTONG martial law, the MULAT Pinoy pilot episode. I've had the privilege to be a part of the Philippine Vloggers Meet, where we were invited actually to witness or to interview and listen to the stories of those people who were actually present during martial law. So jam-packed yung ang daming guests namin, sobrang very very credible. Of course, we all know Senator Juan Enrile, who is now the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel of our in the Malacanang Palace now of PBBM, and he shared a lot of insights of what really happened during those times. And one of the reasons why I'm actually doing this is because matagal nang lahat tayo ay nabubugbog na ng istorya ng martial law na iisa lang lagi yung naririnig natin na laging masama, lahat na lang ata ng superlatives na hindi maganda na nangyari noong martial law narinig din natin, hindi lang sa mainstream media, but if you grew up in an era like me, no, sa libro, even sa mga teachers, di ba? Even sa mga teachers natin, yun ang lagi nating naririnig sa kanila. But kanina was a breath of fresh air because people who were present that time, even the CPP-NPA-NDF former rebels na ngayon ay sumuko na sa gobyerno, ay nandoon para actually nag-sorry, mamaya magpapakita ako ng video, nag-sorry kay Senator Amy Marcos, yung isang rebel, no, na isa sa mga top rank official noong panahon ng martial law, no, top rank official ng CPP-NPA-NDF na doon at humingi ng paumanhin. Okay, nag-sorry kay Senator Amy. Pero bago ko puntahan yung bahagi na yon, Siyempre, tingnan muna natin, let's study kung ano ba yung Proclamation 1081, alright, yung martial law in 1972, if it was justified. So, allow me to share, and this, I'm encouraging everyone, no, na mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, allow me to share this, okay, dahil ito naman ay accessible sa internet, no, yung Proclamation number 1081, okay, of 1972. Alright, na kung kailan pinroclaim yung martial law. This is of course in our official gazette, alright, .gov.ph. Hanapin nyo lang yung Proclamation number 1081, series of 1972. Makikita nyo dyan malinaw kung ano yung kailan, kung bakit talaga siya pinroclaim. The reason why I'm doing this is because I think there's a lot of trauma associated with the word martial law. So kanina, nung ginawa yung vlog conference or press conference, ang unang tanong talaga ni Gary Yap, alright, sa kanilang lahat ng mga guests na nandun, ay ano nga ba yung martial law? And of course, it was Senator Juan Ponce Enrile who said that martial law is actually necessary for the function of government, most especially if there is insurgency and rebellion. And this has been mentioned many, many times by no less than our President Bongbong Marcos that what he remembered during that time was that we were fighting two fronts. We were fighting war on two fronts. The secessionist movement in the south and the Liberal Party or the CPP-NPA-NDF in the north. And those were the reasons why martial law was actually proclaimed. I will not read as part of this proclamation that you see on your screen now. You can read that for yourself, but I think what I'd like to highlight here is this. All right? On the basis na ang nangyayari, yung mga kumakalaban sa gobyerno natin ay may Marxist, Leninist, Maoist teachings, beliefs na alam naman natin na karamihan ng mga nire-recruit sa rebellion ng mga kabataan pa man din ay talaga namang Marxist yung talagang dinodoktrina sa kanya, Leninist teachings and beliefs. Alright? Actually, dito pa lang pag binasa nyo itong very first whereas or rational no, nitong proclamation, makikita nyo na that there was actually na-mention dito that there are lawless elements who are moved by a common or similar ideological conviction, design, strategy, and goal, and enjoying the active moral and material support of a foreign power, being guided and directed by intensely devout, well-trained, determined, and ruthless groups of men, and seeking refuge under the protection of our constitutional liberties to promote and attain their ends. They have entered into a conspiracy and have in fact joined and banded their resources together for the prime purpose of, and in fact, they have been and are actually staging, undertaking, and waging an armed insurrection and rebellion against the government of the Republics of the Philippines in order to forcibly seize political and state power in this country, overthrow the duly constituted government, and supplant our existing political, social, economic, and legal order with an entirely new one whose form of government, whose system of laws, whose conception of God and religion, whose notion of individual rights and family relations, and whose political, social, economic, legal, and moral precepts are based on the Marxist, Leninist, Maoist teachings and beliefs. And kanina, sa panonood, sa pakikinig ko doon sa mga conversation, and I spoke personally to Ka Peter, na ipapakita ko yung video mamaya, nasa sa kanila pala talaga, alright, pagka naging miyembro ka ng CPP-NPA-NDF, not family ang first, not even government, yung party muna. Okay, it's a communist party that comes first before your family, even before God, even before country. And kaya rin talaga namang sobrang lalim ng indoctrination sa mga nagiging members ng CPP-NPA at saka CPP-NPA-NDF. And I think I'd like to talk about this because I'm a school teacher and I've witnessed firsthand how some of the students whose minds are very, very young are actually attracted to this, no, na nadadala sila at nare-recruit, no, na mamundo para magrebelde at lumaban sa pamahalaan. And I think that this is an era for all of us to heal, no, for our nation to heal. And one of the things na pinag-usapan din namin doon ay actually ang Jabida Massacre. Alright, ang Jabida Massacre, inuulit-ulit na ginagamit ng mga makakaliwang grupo as one of the stories or as one of the reasons why sila nagrebelde against our government, no? Against the Marcos Sr. government. And lumabas doon sa usapan na ang Jabida Massacre pala ay inimbento lang ng CPP-NPA-NDF. Isa sa mga malalaking kaimbentohan nila. Ano pa, lumabas din kanina sa pag-uusap, no? At hindi ko na i-detalye dito dahil ito ay makikita nyo naman sa ibang channel. At ito, sinusummary ko lang. Plaza Miranda bombing is also masterminded by the Liberal Party themselves. All right? And I think the many people who are watching right now or who would be watching this video would actually know that that's the truth at that time. They even named during the vlog conference kung sino yung nagpasabog sa Plaza Miranda noon, no? Ang taong nagngangalang Danny Cordero. Alright? And ang isa pa doon ay alam pala ni Ninoy Aquino. Alright? Alam ni Ninoy Aquino na pasasabugin talaga yung Plaza Miranda that time. Alright? Pero hindi man lang niya, alright, winarningan yung kanyang mga kasama doon. Kaya maraming nasugatan. And you know, this is one of the many, many reasons, alright, na gina-justify nila kung bakit sila nagrebelde in the past because of the Plaza Miranda bombing. Na may kagagawan din naman pala ay sila. Kaya naman excited ako na madetalye itong mga bagay nito sa susunod na pelikula ni Direk Daryl Yap, no? Yung Ninoy Aquino, Martyr or Murderer. So tapos na yung MIM, yung Made in Malacanang. Ang susunod naman dito ay Ninoy Aquino, Martyr or Murderer. So may MOM naman tayo na aabangan. That will be next year, alright? That will be shown next year. And this is a well-researched film. This will be a well-researched film para naman mamulat na yung ating mga kababayan, alright, sa mga nangyari sa atin o mga nakaraang panahon. Again, this is not an attempt to distort history. This is not an attempt to revise history. I think bilang guro, gusto kong ma-rectify yung mga hindi malilinaw na bahagi ng ating history. Right? Gayun din yung gusto ko rin mabigyan ng linaw, ano? Bakit ba pinalaya si Joma Sison noong panahon ni Cory? Okay, na panahon ng, kasi ako, batang-bata pa ako noon, batang-bata pa ako ng mga magkakaroon ng mga political, mga political issues na ganyan. Nagulat lang ako siguro dahil sa yung tita ko, no, ay medyo talagang pag kami nag-uusap noon, kahit bata pa ako, nakikinig ako sa kanya kasi commentator siya noon dati sa isang stasyon ng radyo. So, sino nga ba si Joma Sison? Alright, and alam nating lahat ngayon, no, dumadami na mga kabataan na nakakaalam na si Joma Sison ay isang terorista, okay, at isang namamahala ng isang organized group para pabagsakin ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas. And of course, we do not like this to happen. Alright? At maraming pa kami na pag-usapan doon. Pero ang sa aking perspective, ang talagang gusto kong pagtuunan ng pansin ay hi Luz at saka si Joel. Thank you for watching. Alright. So may nagtatanong dito bakit daw wala si Ninoy sa Plaza Miranda bombing kasi alam nga niya na bobombahin yung Plaza Miranda. At itong mga bagay ito matagal ko nang alam, but it's different when you have actually heard it from the horse's mouth. People who were actually there. I have kanina na-meet ko si Ka Peter, yung isa sa naghagis ng kabaong sa inauguration ni dating Pangulong Ferdinand E. Marcos Senior, no? Yung naghagis ng kabaong, and Enrile would even tell of a story how they had to extricate the president at that time militarily because of the attempts in their lives. And natutuwa rin ako kahit paano dahil lumalabas na ito, no, at maraming kabataan ang namumulat sa mga totoong nangyari noong panahon ng martial law 1972. And I know a lot of people are posting right now, never again, never forget. And we understand that, we respect that. Some of you might have been a victim, right? But to say that there's only one side of the story, I think is ignorant. And I think it's high time that we entertain two sides of the story. And now, this side of the story that has not been heard by a lot of people, particularly children, particularly the youth of today, deserve a space deserve a space in our conversation. And so I hope that we elevate the level of discourse, or we elevate the level of our conversation with regard to what really happened in 1972 during the proclamation of martial law. And I think also let's open it, no? Let's have conversation to raise our level of awareness that maybe, all right, we'd like to talk also about who really had Ninoy assassinated. All right, and why are a lot of textbooks when we were growing up insinuated that it was actually Ferdinand Marcos Sr. who plotted the assassination of Ninoy Aquino when in fact parang finacilitate pa nila na ipadala sa ospital sa US si Ninoy Aquino. Alright, tapos papapalikin dito para lang patayin. And maraming loopholes talaga, no? Maraming loopholes na story na pinapakalat ngayon, alright, ng hindi lang ngayon, okay, na pinapakalat ng matagal ng CPP-NPA-NDF, of course, with their partners, alright, with their connections sa mga galamay nila sa mainstream media. And I think this deserves to see the light of day. And this video that I will show is actually one of my favorite parts, okay, one of my favorite parts during the vlog conference kanina. And maraming pinag-usapan but nakakatuwa dahil si dating Chief Presidential, dating Senador na Juan Ponce Enrile ay talagang napakatalas pa ng memorya. Natatandaan niya yung araw, natatandaan niya yung suot ng tao nung nakausap niya. And ako recommendation ko, panoorin niyo yung mga interviews niya sa YouTube. Alright? Dahil talagang marami kayong mapupulot. And, at his age rather, I have so much respect for the man for just wanting to share his experience, for just wanting to share the truth to our fellow Filipino people who have been long blinded, who have long been silenced, with the stories that they have to tell. And I think the last election proves that there are a lot of Filipinos who actually benefited from martial law, from martial law, right? Because otherwise, this wouldn't have been one of the majority elections that we've had in our history. So earlier was a very historic moment, and so allow me to share this video to all of you. Panoorin natin kung paano apologize si Ka Peter. Ka Peter yung pangalan niya. Si Ka Peter, by the way, ay isang high-ranking rebel, of the CPP-NPA-NDF in the past. Katulad ng nasabi ko kanina, si Ka Peter actually ay ang isa sa mga naghagis ng kabaong during the inauguration. So siya talaga mismo talaga siya kaharap ko siya. So sabi ko, these people know a lot or about what happened in the past, alright? And hindi mo matatawaran yung credibilidad nila. So yung nakikita niyong photo dito ay actually video yan. Nakapost lang muna siya. Is yung, by the way, the one you see on the left, on the far left is Ka Eric. Na isa ring kadre dati ng CPP-NPA-NDF, and of course si Ka Peter yung nasa gitna at si Senator Amy yung nandun sa alam niyo naman, nasa right side. At ito yung pangyayari, ito yung kaganapan kanina nung nagkaroon ng nung nag-apologize si Ka Peter kay Senator Amy Marcos.
Humingi ako ng paumanhin. Ako po'y nag-a-apologize. At hindi lang ako ang gusto magsalita ng ganito. Marami po, hindi naman siguro magagalit sa akin na may mentionin ko yung pangalan ng at least isa sa mga nakasama ko. Si Alex. Si Alex Arellano. Sabi niya, Ka Peter, kasi kinausap ko siya. Nakipag-usap ako sa mga kasama ko. Sapagkat alam kong ako'y aatakihin. Sabi ko, alam, ito gagawin ko at susunod kayo Ang tatandaan natin, ang tatakapanin natin. Sabi ko, hanggang ngayon, we are living lies and deceit.
Pause ko lang guys, saglit. Pasensya na doon sa magalaw na video kasi talagang hindi naman ako ganun ko-professional na vlogger na kumukuha ng camera. So pinalad lang na mapasama doon sa event through Direct Daryl Yap. And so during this moment guys, sobra yung medyo mataas yung emotion ng crowd, at marami ako nakitang nagpapahid ng luha and also nakita ko nagpapahid ng luha, most especially yung ibang kadre ng NPA na nandoon. Alright, talagang nagbuwis ang buhay nila na makita in public. Alright, para makita, para lang masuportahan yung kanilang ipinaglala para sa bayan. And I think it's high time that we not close this wound, but we start to heal this wound that has long divided us. So panoorin pa natin, pagpasensyahan nyo na lang yung masyadong magalaw kung kasi nakaganyan ako nun.
At yung mga pala, patuloy pa rin na narinig ko. Ako napapanood ko sa SPNP yung mga magulang na umiiyak at may isang ina. Sabi niya, paano?
So yan guys, excited din akong i-share sa inyo kasi I have spoken to some of them. I'd really like to help provide mental health support, no, especially to the ones who have been traumatized by the CPP-NPA-NDF to join their organization, the ones who have been recruited, and bilang isang mental health professional, nakausap ko rin yung isa sa mga tao na ay gusto kong tumulong, no, para na maibsan yung mga mental trauma, emotional trauma ng mga naranasan ng mga na-recruit o kaya na dinadala sa bundok. And actually, no, maraming mga abusong ginawa sa kanila nung sila ay dinala sa bundok.
Paano maging masaya? Ano ang ibig ng paano maging masaya? Samantalang yung anak ko ay nasa kabundukan. Paano kung makakaingat na lang ako ng text na yung anak ay patay na? Siya, hindi niya, I am 73 years old now. I am a senior citizen. And at this age, I still have my own problem para sa kanyang mga. Dapat matigil na. Pasensya na po kayo. No? Pasensya na po talaga kayo. Yung panahon ko. Ako na lang, ayaw kong idamay yung ibang kasama ko. Baka mamaya makatanggap ako ng mga text na. Pare, problema ko yan, bakit dinamay mo kami? Ako, bilang naging bahagi ako nung kilusan ng araw, na naniniwala ako na yung mga pinagagawa namin ay malaking dahilan. Nakatulong na mabuti kung paano nakipagsa ang gobyerno ni President Ferdinand Marcos. Ngayon, ang aking pong nalalaging buhay sa pag-uusap namin ni Eric, natutuwa ako meron kang battery, no? na nagdesisyon ng bata pa, maaga-aga pa, no? At malaking bagay sa pinanonood ko siya sa mga pagsasalita niya, at ito ang aming ilulusan. This is not a one-shot deal. Gusto ko namin maglusan ng kilusan. Kilusan ng pagtutumpak ng kasaysayan. We are revising history, mga revisions tayo. Sila, no? Bakit ayaw niyong aminin na yung Plaza Miranda ay ginawa ng province para to the Philippines? Natatakot ba kayo? Hanggang ngayon, pininiwalaan ng mga bata niya. Hanggang ngayon. Bakit sa turno kampo, ipaliwanag niya, bakit yung mismong bayaw niya? Si Big Malay, sayang ay yumangon na, 1 year ago. No? Ang hindi ko po nakituloy kanina ay yung kwento ko sana, briefly, gusto kong balikan. No? Nung kung bakit ako hindi natuloy mag-testify sa Senate na pinatawag ni Senator Salonga. Kasi pinag-usap sila.
Guys, ito wait lang, ko muna. Abangan nyo to. Okay, dahil very first lang maririnig ng lahat ng tao ito, no? Na lalo na sa panahon ngayon, bakit hindi sila nakapag-testify? Magte-testify kasi sila noon dapat eh. Alright? Kay Salonga para sa isang trial para alamin ang mga ginagawa ng mga terorista sa Pilipinas. Ito ang medyo nung binanggit ito, tingnan nyo na lang sa video at pakiramdaman nyo yung environment.
Salonga. Ang bilin ni Senator Salonga during the Senate hearing, huwag ninyong babanggitin ang pangalan ni Ninoy Aquino. Yan ang bilin ni President Cory. Hindi mo chismis yan. Hindi ako kinausap ni Senator Salonga, but I'm telling you, hindi chismis yan kasi may magpapatunay nitong sinabi ko, buhay. At kung ako i-demanda ng mga Aquino, ng whatever or ng hindi naman siguro ng lahi ni Senator Salonga, pero sinabi ko niya, hindi sa pagtatakip kundi siyempre presidente. Ang binili ng presidente, and again, sadly, yung resulta ho ng Senate hearing ay sinampit sa DOJ. but it was dismissed.
Alright. Na-dismiss yung case nung sinabmit sa DOJ. Alright, nung panahon ng Cory administration. Okay, alamin natin kung bakit, kung sino yung DOJ secretary noon.
Kapag nung panahon na yun, ang DOJ secretary, syempre, I think, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, ay ang kaibigan kong si Pero Tello. Kasi sa natin, wala ka naman kung naging BL, kaya ako po ay, nung panahon ni President Duterte, naging consultant ako sa yung Office of Presidential nung panahon biglang pinakawalan sa hawla na parang takuhan ng karantay yung mga yan, nag-uunang natin sa Utrecht. I was asked by Attorney Jess Dureza na kita sama ka.
Okay, so ayan na muna guys, yung video. No? Marami pang video nakuhanan ako, no? Pero ilabas ko yung favorite ko na yun na nag-apologize sila kay Senator Amy. Not because they apologized, but I think it's one of the indications that maybe, just maybe, our country is starting to heal. Medyo yung bansa natin unti-unti nang namumulat at nababawasan na yung trauma pagka naririnig nila yung salitang martial law. And even in psychotherapy, pagka lagi mong inuulit-ulit ng paulit-ulit lahat ng association, violente, etc., hindi siya nakakatulong. If we keep reminding ourselves, again, the objective is not to revise history, is not to discount the atrocities that were committed against our fellow Filipino citizens. But it is, I think, deserving to hear, or I think the other side of the narrative deserves to see the light as well. Para hindi lang isang storya yung naririnig nating lahat. So, I'm so happy that the first episode of MULAT PINOY, okay, the pilot episode of MULAT PINOY is about this na sumakto naman ngayong September 21, no, proclamation ng martial law or noong 1972. And I hope na sana pagka narinig ng mga tao ngayon yung salitang martial law, nababawasan na yung associated na trauma doon. Nababawasan na yung conditioning na associated doon sa word na martial law. And it's working. No? I think it's working that a lot of people are starting to really wake up. Nababawasan na yung bigat ng martial law. Energetically, pagka sinabi mo ngayon yung martial law, people now understand that it has its benefits. And we have seen that, okay, during the Duterte administration when we fought the insurgent groups in Mindanao, in Marawi, na kinailangan talaga mag-proclaim ng martial law because we needed it to fight the war. And another thing, siguro, I've been teaching for quite some time now, and I have, again, just last semester, I have quite a bit of an encounter, okay, with some students who were members of these CPP-NPA-NDF fronts, no, yung Kabataan, Anak Bayan, even Gabriela Youth, yung mga ganyang ginagamit ang konsepto ng red tagging na pagka sila ay napangalanan na miyembro ng grupo, sasabihin nila yung red tagging. And last semester, I had a bit of an experience about it with some of my former students. Okay, they're not my students anymore. And so ayun, sa pagpapakalat ng siguro ginagawa ko to para magpakalat ng kamalayan, okay, para na rin sa ating mga kabataan na makinig or marinig ang isa pang side ng story na hindi sinabi sa kanila Alright? No, hindi sila nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na makita. And I'm so happy na isa sa mga plano ng mga dating kadre ay actually to rectify. No? They'd like to rectify our history. I-rectify nila. They will not distort. They will not revise. The word that was used was that they will rectify. They will take into account both sides of the story. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this has been a contribution for you, please share this live stream, live video para naman mas marami tayong marating na mga manonood na medyo gagaan na yung pakiramdam nila. No? Kasi nagbabalik loob na yung mga natin, yung mga dating rebelde na na-realize nila na hindi pala tama yung ginawa nila. Okay, na lalo lang na bumagsak sa kahirapan ng Pilipinas nung panahon na yun. So there are still a lot of questions. So abangan ninyo sa Mulat Pinoy. I will still be inviting a lot of people to shed light on different kinds of social issues that the Philippines is facing, not just social issues that the Philippines is facing, but also some social issues that we are facing globally. And abangan niyo po yan dito sa isang segment ng June TV, Mulat Pinoy. Right? And this coming Friday, I have Ryan T, an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, to join me as we talk about holistic well-being. So stand by for that. So, and unti-unti, okay? Dati hindi ko rin makita kung ano ba ang direksyon ng aking ginagawang live stream, no? Kasi sa totoo lang, munti ko nang iwanan ang pamumulitika or yung pagdi-discuss about politics because I'd like to focus on wellness. But then I realized that I think politics is there, right? Because it can be an instrumental to opening up our awareness, our consciousness, which will ultimately lead to the healing of our collective consciousness as a race, as a nation. So that's it. Thank you so much again. I'm June and this is Mulat Pinoy, right? Para sa kamulatan ng Pinoy. Hindi pa ako nakakaisip ng tagline para sa Mulat Pinoy. Pero yan, maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. Please follow me on YouTube, by the way. Bye, everyone.